order. Let the minutes reflect that it is 7 o'clock. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, as required by the Open Public Meetings Act of 1975, adequate notice of this scheduled meeting has been provided to the public by notices given to the Home News Tribune, Star Ledger, Sentinel, and Desi Talk, posted on the library's bulletin boards and website, and given to the Township Clerk's office. Roll call, please.
Yes. Oh, right in front of me. Ms. Kraus?
Here.
Ms. Mead?
Here.
Ms. O'Neill? Absent at the moment. Mr. Aristani? Absent. Ms. Pam?
Here.
Mr. Depasquale?
Here.
Mr. Alcantara?
Here.
Mr. Rivera?
Here.
Ms. Massey?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Yes, we do have a quorum. All right, now let me see if I can find my agenda here. All right, we are going to do the approval of minutes. So hopefully you've all had a chance to review the minutes of November 16th, 2022. If so, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comments or corrections? All right, hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes, the regular minutes of November 16th, 2022. All those in favor? I don't think we need to take a roll call vote.
You can move by unanimous consent unless anyone has any corrections.
Right, I don't
to
believe
the
we
minutes?
have any corrections, so we'll move by unanimous consent for the November 16th, 2022 minutes of the regular session. Now, the next we'll do the September 21st, 2022 closed session minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve those minutes? We need a motion. Jody, is that?
Yes.
Okay, so Jody made a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, thank you, Tony. Do we have any corrections or revisions to that particular, those minutes? All right, hearing none, that those minutes are approved by unanimous consent. The next minutes are the minutes, the November 16th, 2022 minutes of the closed session. Do we have a motion to approve those?
So moved.
All right, Fiona, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, Tony, any corrections or revisions to those minutes? Hearing none, those are approved by unanimous consent. All right, thank you. Now we are going to go into closed session. I will read a resolution to go into closed session. Whereas the Open Public Meetings Act provides for the exclusion of the public at Board of Trustees meetings during the discussion of certain matters, and whereas prior to the exclusion of the public from a Board of Trustees meeting, it is required that the board adopt a resolution stating the general nature of the subject to be discussed and stating as precisely as possible the time when the minutes of discussion conducted in closed session can be disclosed to the public. And whereas this body is about to consider a matter which falls within the purview of NJSA 10:4-12 and can properly exclude the public from such discussions. Now therefore be it resolved that the Edison Public Library Board of Trustees shall enter into a closed session to consider the following matters. Any matter involving the employment, appointment, termination of employment, terms of condition of employment, promotion, or disciplining of any specific prospective public officer or employee or current public officer or employee. It is further resolved that the minutes of this said discussion shall be made public as soon as the matter under discussion is no longer of a confidential nature. All right, do we need a second to go into closed session?
Yes.
Do we have a second to go into closed session?
Second.
All right, that's all right. I think we can ask for a motion to return to public session. Do we have a motion to return to public session?
So moved.
Thank you,
Second.
Lisa. Do we have a second? Thank you, Ray.
Second.
All right, we are now back in public session. We don't have any items to be acted on at this time. But I will report in terms of Clara Barton that on December 1st, we had a meeting with the mayor and his team. And at that point, the mayor did ask that the library take the lead in terms of any lease negotiations. And so we're doing our due diligence and really checking everything very, very carefully to make sure that we make a fiscally responsible decision. So right now we don't have anything to report more than that. And it's been a very busy year. We have hopefully the North Branch project will get started soon with the engineers checking things out, and then we'll be able to go to bid. And then we also have the project at Maine for a renovation. So it is a very exciting time. I would like to wish Prudence and Dolores a very happy retirement after many years of service. And I think that is enough for my report. Let's move to the financial reports. Hopefully everybody had a chance to review the financial reports ending on November 30th, 2022. We have the operating account and capital account. Alan?
Ms. Massey, if you just want to go back under the
Yeah.
president's report on the agenda, the
Oh, the
tentative
dates.
meeting dates. for
Yes, sorry, the
2024.
dates, the tentative dates. Did everybody have an opportunity to look at the dates that Alan had shared with us? You'll note, unfortunately, I thought that, well, I know that we did. We had reserved January 10th for council chambers, January 10th, 2023 for our reorganization meeting. But now just found out that it is no longer available. And neither is October 10th. But
Where is the list? I'm having trouble finding it.
it was sent out, you know what, this time, everything was, I think it was just scanned and sent out as one big,
on Friday.
on Friday.
Okay. Here we go. I've got so many different packets. So there we go. Sorry.
Right. Yeah, most of the dates, except for February 7th, are the second Tuesday of the month. And I think, Alan, did you note that was there one date that you had a question, whether that would be a concern?
April 11th is the
April.
last 2 days of Passover.
Yeah, I would say we should move it
Okay,
because those are holy days.
Okay.
So, the suggestion is the January 10th, the October 10th, and if we move it to the week after, because the week before still is Passover, that those dates, we simply meet at the main library or the North Edison branch, whichever is available, or Zoom. So the January 10th, the reorg is difficult to do on Zoom, but we
Right.
can always meet at the main library.
Yes.
Right, I think
So-
we'll just keep that date and,
So basically, if we move April 11th to April 18th, which would be the following week, would that be acceptable?
I think that, just be aware that's tax day.
it's tax day.
Yeah. Fine for me. I don't know if anyone else is, if that's.
Yeah, does
okay with
anybody
you.
else have a question or concern about moving April 11th to April 18th?
Well, I just be aware that's also Yom HaShoah. I don't know if there's going to be, I don't know if the town does anything for that.
Do you want to?
Well, we could always submit these, we could submit these dates, except for April.
And we can finalize that at the reorg meeting at the next meeting.
Right,
I just, I don't know, like I said, I don't know that if the town will do anything for it, but just be aware.
okay,
So January 10th meeting would be in the main library?
Yes.
yes. Right, in person at Maine. Yeah, thank you for reminding me about the tentative dates. All right, so Alan, you'll reserve the other dates at the at council chambers.
Yes.
Okay.
And
And
we
maybe
can file-
find out what's available in April.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really make a difference if it's not available. We'll just meet either at main library.
Right, but we
I
could
mean-
even, if we need to, we could do something
On
on a
Zoom.
day other than Tuesday if we had to.
Right. Well, the problem is the Mondays and Wednesdays are pretty much, so we're surrounded by council meetings. So
Yes,
I'll go back and
yeah.
look at that. And the township calendar that they show to the public on the website is not complete. It doesn't show zoning. It doesn't show a couple of others until like the last minute. So I'll go back and speak to them and see if they can give us definitive. And as long as we know where we are for January, we can just complete this at the blog meeting.
Okay, that's good. Now we'll move to the financial reports. So do we have any questions on the operating account or the capital account? All right, hearing none. Has everyone had the opportunity to review the bill list dated November 30th, 2022? And do we have a motion to approve the bill list?
Motion.
Thank you. Do we have a
Second.
second?
I'll second.
All right, thank you. Do we have any questions or comments about the bill list? All right, hearing none, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Ms. Kraus,
Yes.
Ms. Mead,
Yes.
Ms. Pam,
Yes.
Mr. Depasquale,
Yes.
Mr. Alcantara,
Yes.
Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
Ms. Massey.
Yes,
Motion carries.
all right, thank you. Now, do we have a motion to approve the establishment of a payroll account? And Alan, do you want to explain the reasoning behind having a payroll account? Makes sense.
we are required, when we move to paychecks in January, to have an ACH debit account. So basically, once we do our payroll, we would put money in this account so that paychecks can we withdraw it. Obviously, we don't want them to have access to all our funds. So basically, that account is the account that they draw the payroll from, and also the account that has staff deductions in them that we then would have to pay the township. So that's why the management is requesting the establishment of a payroll account.
All right, so do we have a motion to approve the establishment of a payroll account?
So moved.
Yeah.
And a second, was that Jody?
Yes,
Okay. So Lisa made the motion, Jody seconded. Any questions or comments? All right, hearing none, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Ms. Kraus,
Yes.
Ms. Mead,
yes,
Ms. Pam,
yes,
Mr. Depasquale,
Yes.
Mr. Alcantara,
Yes.
Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
Ms. Massey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. And now we come to the director's report and the assistant director's report.
Just a couple of things for discussion. We have been able to order the laptops and Chromebooks from SHI. So we expect that we will have that, and that may very well work out for the January board meeting, that we can distribute them at that day. I'll leave personnel changes for a moment. Bookmobile update. The bookmobile is done. And it looks really super. They're just doing final, making sure that everything is good. And I'm going to work out a date for myself to go to Ohio, make sure everything is okay, and drive back with the person that's going to do the training for the bookmobile staff. So we need to kind of pick out a date that works for them, because they need to have someone to drive it. And also that person does the training for the staff, needs to show everyone where all that stuff is. So that's cool. The Library Foundation will be meeting with the foundation members this month. And in the packet today is a policy for sponsorship. So as we move forward in new building projects, it's pretty generally done that we would like people to see if they would fund things such as a chair, a table, a shelf of books, all these kind of stuff. So we're also working on a buy a book program. So we actually have some brochures and flyers for people who would like to purchase a book and have a nameplate in it for the foundation. And we're supposed to be meeting, I believe it's next week, for our quarterly meeting. Clara Barton relocation. I'll give you the cliff notes. We're still in process of looking for a location. If that is as cliff notes as I can get for as cliff notes, we'll be looking outside the Clara Barton area to see what other options we have. And so I hope to work with Mr. Brady and Ms. Matsey on seeing what other options we have. The North Edison branch update. We are now, I believe we have back all our signed contracts. We have signatures from the state librarian, which means now we are ready to go and actually move, so that we can also get reimbursed on this. So we're hoping to see if we can get all of our vendors, because several of them are interested in get started together for next week. So we'll see how we can get this done. I will mention, though, that of all the round one libraries, only one or two has actually had their jobs finished. Every project has been delayed, whether it was items or just the deliveries or whatever. So slow is good. We want to make sure that we do everything correctly. And a lot of what we've been doing up to now has been concentrating on Clara Barton. So we still have that on the back burner, but we need to get North Edison started and hopefully next week. We had a very successful staff development day on Friday, December 2nd. Almost all of our full-time and part-time staff were there. And it's pretty much one of the few opportunities during the year that everyone gets together. So the morning we had a presentation by Mr. Fox, who is the head of security and buildings at the Montclair Public Library. And he talked about just some basic security issues, but he gave the staff an opportunity to talk to an expert. And that was very well received. And in the afternoon, our own Anthony Iovino came to talk to the staff about how they viewed the main library and what people felt was most needed in the main library, and also the discussion of what we're not doing now that maybe we should do in the future. But you would not be surprised that the usual three suspects come up. One is more plugs. Two is quiet spaces. And three always comes up with more. We want more of everything. So, but it was good for him to talk to the staff. They were really very supportive in that. This past month, and I'm not sure if we actually even did it last month, is we have a new full-time library assistant, Christopher. Deborah, Christopher's last name is?
Fails.
Fails, thank you. He's currently working at North Edison. And I think Pat mentioned we have 2 retirements this month. We had a party on Friday for Prudence Chung, who had been in the library for 28 years. And we're going to have a smaller party later this month for Dolores on her last day. And we wish them both well. And they have been excellent employees over the years. So that's it from my end. Deborah, anything else you want to add from your reports that stand out?
Not much. We have the artist reception on the 21st at 7 p.m. So I think that's a Wednesday. That should be exciting. And then Lonnie, who's been working on small businesses research, is working with, hopefully towards the end of February, he's going to be collaborating with SCORE and hopefully the Chamber of Commerce, the Edison Chamber of Commerce, to just have some classes or courses available for people as well, and see what we can do with the chamber. That's pretty much it.
Nice, thank you. All right, now we come to the committee reports. Facilities and bookmobile, I think that's been more or less covered, that we have a lot going on right now, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the bookmobile when it arrives, hopefully within the month, hopefully. And then finance and personnel. Now finance would be Sue, but she did have to leave. And the one thing that we have for finance is the new bank account for payroll. And for personnel, we did have a negotiations meeting on December 8th. And the next committee would be policies and bylaws. And Fiona, that would be you. Where is Fiona? I don't
She's
see her,
there.
but she's, oh, there you are. There you are.
Yeah, I was
So we have-
talking and I was on mute. I'm trying to pull up the policy and bylaw. So the dress code policy is it's not ready to be approved at this time.
Not right
and-
now.
No, and we do have, where is it? I'm on my laptop and my iPad.
Oh, the proctoring.
The proctoring, yeah, I'm looking for that policy for us to review. Which email was that in, Alan?
Let me just mention, the proctoring policy came out of the fact that someone who actually, a friend of mine, wanted us to proctor an exam, and I said, we don't have a policy. So that's what perpetuated the proctoring policy. We do get maybe once or twice a month. We do get requests, and obviously without a policy, staff really did not. We're not able to do this. So there's nothing unusual in the policy. One thing we can't do is we don't do continuous proctoring, which is we can get the exam started. The librarian is going to be doing their stuff at the desk. They kind of watch over when that person and the test is done in a public area, either in front of them or on a computer. And so that's kind of the basics. We ran it through, passed it to Mr. Brady as well, and all seemed to be fine. This is for Edison residents with an Edison library card only. Otherwise, if we open this up, we would have half of Middlesex County here every day of the week. So basically that's, I hope everyone has had a chance to take a look at the proctoring policy.
Do they still do paper exams?
Very rarely. You know what, the ones I've seen lately is when they really have to do essays.
Mhm.
That's probably the only time they still do it, but pretty much almost 95% these days are all done online. And basically, you know, they send you the code and the key, you the one who have to log the student in. They have to show you their ID. They get a key as well. So they have to put in their key, you have to put in your key. It's pretty sophisticated to make sure that they really are the person taking the exam. So, and that's why a driver's license and library card, but we're doing it for Edison, but they have to show a driver's license so that we know really who they are.
All right, I don't see where it says driver's license on the policy. Oh, okay, I see it now. Photo identification, and then they have to have a public library card, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And you see, it's a good emphasis if they don't have one and they live in Edison, it's a good opportunity for them to get one.
Okay. And then we had a sponsorship policy and procedures that came right.
Yes.
Yes.
And that really is to give some guidance to the foundation about the general sponsorship, but also how the board sees gifts and grants, since they pretty much would go through the foundation for anyone to get their tax deductions. But if you look at it pretty much through the whole way, the director really gets to be the one that looks through everything even before. And we know the way things basically work. It's more likely it's going to come to the director's office, and we're going to direct them to the foundation if it's something that really fits in its guidelines. So
That's good.
you know, we're at this point, the foundation isn't so independent that we're not gonna see what happens without, you know, like something's not gonna happen that they're gonna take $1 million and we didn't even know about
And
it.
you don't know about it.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
That is good.
Yeah, oh, that would
So
be
do-
nice if we did get that.
That
Well,
would be. So do we have a motion to approve the proctoring policy?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, Lisa, do we have any questions or comments? Hearing none, could we have a roll call vote?
Ms. Kraus, am I muted? No. Ms. Kraus?
Yes, I don't, am I muted?
No.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Miss Mead,
Yes.
Miss Pam,
Yes,
Mr. Depasquale,
Yes.
Mr. Alcantara,
Yes.
Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
Ms. Massey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. And do we have a motion to approve the sponsorship policy and procedures?
So moved.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
second,
Thank you. Any questions or comments? All right, hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Ms. Kraus,
Yes.
Miss Mead,
Yes.
Miss Pam,
yes,
Mr. Depasquale,
Yes.
Mr. Alcantara,
Yes.
Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
thank you, and Miss Massey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. And then the last committee is the Strategic Planning Committee that we don't have anything to report on at this time. Do we have any unfinished business? Alan? Do
No,
we have- No,
Uh,
okay, so no unfinished business. Do we have any new business?
not new business per se, but we'll need to meet, I will need to meet with the finance committee
Okay.
prior to the next board meeting, if we do have fully executed library budget, which we should.
Good.
So that could be adopted at the reorganization meeting. Pretty much it's not any different than we did this year. So that makes it nice and easy.
All right,
Um,
excellent. That's great. That's great.
And I think that's the only committee that we would need to meet between now and then.
All right. You don't think there'll be any other policy?
Um,
We probably
Oh.
want to finish the dress code, right?
yeah, we have, yeah, we could finish the dress code. I think that was just a couple of back and forth. And
Right.
was there a fourth policy?
Was
we
there
were-
an, I think there was another policy.
Dress code, Deborah? Which one? Maybe not.
Was it? I don't know. We'll have to go back. Harassment or,
No, that we're gonna have to work with Mr. Brady on a new harassment policy.
yes, okay,
With the library.
okay.
And Anne Marie for a new harassment policy and update what we have, because what we have is ancient.
All right, but maybe that could get done too. Who knows?
We
All
could
right,
get-
so now we're
we could
gonna
get
move
that done
to-
by- We could get that done by the January 10th, not a problem.
Yeah, I
Oh,
would
that would be
probably think
great.
Anne Marie has a template already that she probably uses
Right, and,
that we can build on.
yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's good.
and even though Edison one was ancient, quote unquote, to use your words, it's not bad. It just needs a little tweaking, so it will be fine.
That's good. All right, now we have public comment. Do we have any members of the public who would like to speak?
We have a lot of staff here, but no one wants to say.
Right, no, all right, no members of the public. All right, so we will move out of public comment. And announcements. Well, I will announce that I hope everybody has a very happy holiday season and happy new year. And maybe we'll have a special meeting if we need to, but if not, we'll get together in the new year, unless hopefully you're going to the holiday party on Friday at Maine,
6 o'clock.
6
But
o'clock.
I know people show up earlier, so, it's pretty much going to be 5:30, I know. So
Oh,
that's
oh.
okay.
All right, are there,
Yeah.
sorry, are there any other announcements? Oh, my goodness. All right. Hearing none, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
All right, do we have a second?
Second,
All right, thank you. All those in favor?
aye.
Excellent. All right, keep in mind, our next meeting is in person on January 10th, 2023 at Main Library at 7 p.m. So until that time, enjoy the holidays, and this meeting is adjourned.
Have a great night,
Thank you.
everybody.
At
Happy
8:40.
holidays.
Happy
Good night.
holidays.
Holidays,
Happy
happy New Year.
holidays.
Yes,
Bye.
yes, happy Kwanzaa, everything.